let's have a little check-in on League One today. And if you haven't been following and you just happened to see a League One league table, you may be very surprised to notice that Birmingham, having assembled the ultra, hyper, mega Harlem Globetrotters All-Star League One squad, are not in the top two as we sit here today, which begs me to ask the question, could Birmingham actually miss out on automatic promotion this season? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hit pause right now, let me know your thoughts, and then watch to the end and see if we agree. So why the hell is this Birmingham squad that probably everyone expected to be, 5 points, 8 points clear by now at the top of the table? Why aren't they in the top two? Well, what is the worst thing that can possibly happen when you're a red-hot favourite for a league? Well, it's somebody playing absolutely out of their skin and going on an incredible run and frankly being a great nuisance and finding their way to the top of the league. That team, and you have to say, take a bow, Wycombe Wanderers, because who the hell saw that coming? Matt Bloomfield and Wycombe. Where are my stats? So Wycombe actually lost the first two games of the season to the other two teams we're about to talk about, Wrexham and Birmingham, and since then have scored 39 points in 15 games, including a recent run up until who they draw with, Exeter, in midweek. 8 wins in a row. And you know, if you've watched my channel, my thoughts on what happens in a 46-game season to any team that wins 8 games in a row. If someone can dig out the stats, I'm pretty sure they all get promoted. So Wycombe have just fired an incredible shot towards Birmingham and the rest of League One, where you put yourself in a position. I mean, they're projecting 105 points if they carry on the same run. They're probably not going to carry on the same run. Another 39 points in the next 15 games, and every record in the world is probably going to be shattered in terms of the EFL. But what this type of start and this type of run does do is mean when the regression to the mean in whatever form it comes, because frankly, it has to, doesn't it? Surely you can't just win every game. When that does come, you do give yourself headroom and you make it very, very hard for the chasing team. So, yeah, Wycombe have really, really put themselves front and centre in this promotion race. And you've got to say, with that run and the 39 points on the board and 105 projected, it's really theirs, as in automatic promotion, to lose now. I don't know what the points per game would have to be just to get 90. Although League One doesn't often pay heed to 90 points getting you up. But the first reason Birmingham may miss out on automatic promotion is a season for the ages potentially from Wycombe. Can they keep it up? Reason number 2 is Wrexham. Now, look, Wrexham have been on everybody's radar since the Ryan Reynolds, Rob McElhaney, Mystic Quest, Deadpool takeover, Hollywood, Wrexham, Disney FC, whatever you want to call them. Now, that was all very mocking and very tongue-in-cheek. But on the pitch, Wrexham should be taken bloody seriously. And it's been a long-held theory of mine that winning mentality and winning runs, doesn't matter where you kind of start them, whether it is in the National League, they mean a hell of a lot. And someone did furnish me with the proper statistics of what Wrexham have actually done over the last 3 or 4 years. They have been a winning machine. So I'll hold my hands up. Do you know what I thought would happen to Wrexham this season? I thought they would get a nice run to start the season. 5, 10 games, something like that. They'd be up there. Then you'd get the regression and they would, I don't know, probably still be in the top 8 or the top 10. No, top 8, surely. I can't remember where I put them in my League One predictions. Probably in the playoff spots or maybe just outside. And it would level out, and I probably thought this is the point where the very not Hollywood Phil Parkinson, the manager there, would be changed and Wrexham would move on in the next part of their development, which will probably in the next few years see them getting into the Championship. Well, they have been better than that. They are at second place. We'll look at the table properly there. They've won 4 in 5 games twice this season, including the current run that they are on. And the real two things to point out with Wrexham that are going to make them a blooming nuisance for the entirety of League One, not just Birmingham, is their home record is frankly absurd. 9 wins and a draw. So out of 30 points, they've scored 28. And when I make my comparison that everyone's probably already thinking, that does ring true with a certain League One champion of a couple of seasons ago. Also, defensively, they've got most clean sheets and fewest conceded. They're not quite in the stratosphere of Wycombe, projecting 105 points, but 94.5 points might not be enough. But most seasons, that will get you promoted. So I have to say, Wrexham have been better than I expected. Will it last? Let me know in the comments. So let's talk about Birmingham and their part in why they aren't in the top 2. Well, the most simple thing, and as I say, we'll look at the league table in a minute, is they haven't played as many games as these two. Yes, they, I don't know, did they have the Wycombe points per game? They've certainly got a better points per game than Wrexham thus far. I think they might be just shy. I think they might be for 100 points. Where are they, Birmingham? 36. I can't do that maths that quickly. If you can, well, use a calculator, stick it in the comments what Birmingham's projection is. So fewer games played is fairly simple, and we get this very first world argument, don't we, of it's weird in League One because you do get some teams that have lots of international players and really need to postpone games, and then you have teams that have, I don't know, the Grenadian reserve goalkeeper or something, and an Egyptian under 21, and games get postponed. But yeah, would you rather have more international caliber players or less? You'd rather have more, so it is what it is. The other thing for Birmingham is we are catching them at a space right now where, given Wrexham's absurd home record, Wycombe's absurd winning streak, they've had 3 games in a row, just a couple of games back, where they dropped points. They went away to Mansfield right at the end of Mansfield's very hot streak and drew. How dare they draw a game? Northampton was one of those, wasn't it? It was another draw, and Mitch Pinnock scored for Northampton in the 96th minute. Look, you can't win every game. There's always going to be one like that when you're a hot favourite. And they fell victim to the fresh start paradigm, the new manager bounce, Gareth Ainsworth, at Shrewsbury, and ended up incredibly with Shrewsbury right at the bottom of the table, losing there. So, yes, maybe I've picked an advantageous time to have this conversation. I'm sure I'll be accused of that in the comments. But look, I had a gap in the diary and I wanted to talk about League One today. There's the league table. And, I mean, it's a lovely high standard, isn't it? You're always looking at 2 points per game, and 92 will generally get you promoted. Apart from in the season we're about to compare this to. So, yeah, Wycombe out in front. But, it doesn't have to be a mighty high points per game for Wycombe to be landing in the mid-80s, for example, if you've got perhaps one team going ahead of everyone else and you just needed to finish second. But Wycombe are going to fancy their chances of winning this title and taking Birmingham all the way. Wrexham, can they hang in there? Need to win more away games, don't they? Can they rely purely just on their home record? Well, look, let's do it. The elephant in the room in the comparison is obviously 22-23. Plymouth, Ipswich, Sheffield Wednesday, and it's a perfect comparison with that table right now. Well, not quite in terms of the finances, but Wycombe are definitely this year's Plymouth. Plymouth, had no right to win that title. Incredible performance from Stephen Schumacher, given how much more financially Ipswich and Sheffield Wednesday had. I live this, by the way, because I'm an Ipswich fan. Maybe if you swap the bank balances around one, because Ipswich were the wealthiest team and Sheffield Wednesday the next wealthiest team. So the comparison doesn't completely run, but essentially you have 2 well-funded teams and, the kind of underdog. Wycombe fit the Plymouth role, and Wrexham do kind of fit the Sheffield Wednesday role as such, don't they, in terms of, maybe a team that's not trying to play expansive tippy-tappy football, but are very solid. And by the way, talk about home records, and I'm getting the comparisons all over the place now, but in the Plymouth season, Plymouth's home record was out of this world good, like Wrexham's is now. And what Plymouth proved is, I don't know how good they were away from home. I think it's reasonably middling. They certainly weren't anywhere near as good away from home as they were at home. But what that does prove that season is you can have wealthy teams like Ipswich and Sheffield Wednesday, but someone can just put a season together like Plymouth did. And it does prove that if you are extraordinary, either at home or defensively, you can get promoted, even in a ridiculous season where I think it was 101, 99, 96, 90, what did Sheffield Wednesday get? I think they got 96 and didn't get automatic promotion. The Birmingham fans do not want to be that team who goes in the playoffs on 96 points. And remember, it's not really a conversation for today, but Sheffield Wednesday actually got hammered, didn't they, in the first leg of the playoffs and looked like they were going to mess it all up. I think they went like 18 undefeated, maybe like 23 or something undefeated, and then lost to Forest Green, didn't they? Out of nowhere, went on a losing run. It can happen. Right. Are Birmingham going to mess this up? Let's see what the bookies and the markets say. A resounding absolutely not. Look, the market is not having Birmingham as anything other than getting promoted automatically. Look, 9-1 on. If you are not a gambler, please gamble responsibly. 18 plus, only terms and conditions apply. But that means if you put £9 of your hard-earned money on, you will win £1 if Birmingham finish in the top 2. So the market and the bookies are not going anywhere on Birmingham. They do not see a hope in hell that Birmingham are not going to be in the top 2. What is fascinating is Wrexham's position in there. Wycombe, as I said, have put themselves in such a position with this incredible run of 39 points in 15 games. They're now odds on to finish automatically. This is, again, not the odds for the title. It's the odds for the top 2, basically. Interestingly, Wrexham are out at 4-1, just behind Huddersfield and pretty close to Bolton as well. So there is still this idea that Wrexham could be usurped. And the market and the bookies is telling us one thing. It's telling us the top 2 is going to be Birmingham and Wycombe. So there you go. A bit of fun and games. To answer the question, are Birmingham actually going to miss out? I will eat my hat. I'm not very good at wearing hats. I've got quite a big head to fit my big brain in, so I don't wear many hats. But I'll eat my hat. There you go. Clip that out if Birmingham aren't promoted automatically. I do agree with the bookies, and I think you can kind of explain it away a little bit in terms of the fewer games played and the recent run. By the way, I think Birmingham, when I was doing my research, have played and beaten Wycombe, Wrexham, Huddersfield and Stockport, who are all the other sides in the current top 5. So it's all lining up that we're just in a moment where, you know, the timing is right with Birmingham having played fewer games and just had a mad run that they're not quite in the top 3. But it's not me trying to be advantageous and wind the Birmingham fans up. It's about a celebration of the extraordinary run from Wycombe and the extraordinary home record of Wrexham that is maybe padding the table in a way that it's not going to finish. But you never know. Everybody had Ipswich and Sheffield Wednesday in 22-23, and Plymouth won the damn thing. There you go. Get your comments in. Could Birmingham actually miss out on automatic promotion? Now, we don't do a hell of a lot on League One on the channel anymore, but I'd love you to click up here because I am a guest each and every round with the brilliant Matt SB over on his channel where we do League One predictions and chat about the division. So I am still pretty across it each and every round, watching all the goals and doing the predictions. Click there, subscribe to Matt's channel, check out the latest predictions. You can comment over there or you can comment down here on all the antics. We've got a 3-horse race in League One. Are Birmingham going to miss out? Can Wycombe hold on? Can Wrexham start winning away? Get in there. Let it burn.